I recently had a viewer request that I share some of the flashcards that we use in our homeschool, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you today. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and this is A Common Life. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids ages 4 through 12. And we have always used flashcards in our homeschool. I can remember when my oldest was very young, I used flashcards of letters and numbers and colors and things like that. So even as my kids are getting older, we are still using flashcards for a lot of different things. So I'm going to share those with you today. With me, I have this big box of all different kinds of flashcards. So I'm going to go through each of them, basically starting from the easiest ones and moving on up. The first few packages of flashcards I picked up at the Dollar Tree. So the first one are these cute National Geographic ABC letter and animal cards. So it starts out with a picture on the front of a certain animal with a letter, and then it will say Z is for zebra. And it goes on through all different kinds of really fun animals. And I love this because it's beautiful photographs from National Geographic. So it's really high quality. These cards are, do you see that? These cards are really thick. So for $1, this was an amazing deal. Sometimes you get flashcards that are kind of cheap at the Dollar Tree, but these are really nice. So if you see any of the National Geographic flashcards, I would highly recommend that you pick them up. But you can see here that they're all just really beautiful. And some of them have like this, here we go, like warthog. A lot of kids might not know warthog is like one of their first animals. So this is kind of fun to just go through all these different kinds of animals. A wild yak. So these are really cute. I love doing these with my 4-year-old or younger. I mean, I did these with him when he was 3 and he loved these. The next set is another one that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and this is the Play School Alphabet Flashcard set. And I put holes in them and put it on this ring just so I could kind of bring it with me wherever we go. And so this one, it has the letter on the top, then it has a picture and a word. And so what I will do sometimes is I will kind of cover the word or I'll cover the letters, and they'll have to figure out what it is, whether it's, what word it is or what letter it is or anything like that. So this is really fun. I really like using these, and this is another one that you can just stick in your purse or your bag and just bring with you and have it so you can play with it whenever. Because for little kids, doing flashcards like this is really fun. It's like a game. They don't really realize they're doing school or learning or anything like that. They just think it's really fun. This next set is also from the Dollar Tree, and it is this counting set. So it has dots on one side and then pictures on the other. So the child has to be able to either count them or as they get older to just kind of like see it and know that that is 4. And here are some more examples. And they're kind of like playing cards as well. So you could definitely turn these into different games and have a lot of fun with them. But they're really cute and colorful, and they're fun for little kids to do. I really like this. Moving ahead with more math, we have these money flashcards. And once again, they're from the Dollar Tree. And there are actually a lot of flashcards in here. They're not as high quality as the National Geographic, but they're still, you can hear that, they're still really thick. They're not flimsy at all. And so this is really fun to do math for your older children, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, even higher than that grades. There's some very basic cards, and there are some that have a lot, oh hold on, there's some that have just dollar bills, and there's some that have both, and so you have to kind of count them and figure out the money. And there are other ones in here that are much simpler that you can kind of start with. So here it kind of shows you, goes through what the different coins are and what they're worth. It shows you the obverse and the reverse, what it's worth. And there's cards like this throughout the entire deck for all the different types of coins. So here, this would probably be like an easy one that you can start with a younger child where they just count the pennies and the nickel. And then you can move up to more difficult things like this one. So these are really fun. I don't know really how to turn these into a game, but they're just kind of fun flashcards to just get them to master the amounts that all of the coins and dollars are worth. Then I have a set of multiplication learning flashcards, and these were 25 cents somewhere. I have a feeling my mother-in-law probably picked these up for us. So these are really great. There's 55 cards in here, and it did come with reward stickers and a parent card, but it doesn't have that anymore. So let me pull them out and show them to you. These are also really good quality. There's a lot of cards here, and they're really thick, and they're just great. So on it, it will have the multiplication fact here. And then the opposite side, it will have the answer up in the corner. So here's 11 times 5, and up in the corner is 11 times 5 equals 55. And so it's really nice that they kind of use both sides. They're not just wasting, one side of the flashcard for the answer. So I really like that. So even though it's 55 cards, you're actually getting 110 multiplication problems here. So it goes from, very basic, from zeros, and it's all just single and double digits. There's nothing higher than that. So this is really great. This is really good for like a 1st, 2nd, 3rd grader, or even an older child who just needs to, really solidify those multiplication facts. And what I will do sometimes is I will have both of my boys sit together, and we'll kind of go back and forth. Like one child will do one, and then the other child will do one, and then they'll get to keep the card. And then at the end, whoever has the most cards is the winner, which we don't usually have a prize or anything like that. It's just the pride of winning. So they really like doing that. Moving away from math now, we have these states and capitals cards. There are 56 flashcards in this set. At the very beginning of this pack of cards, it explains everything that's in here. So there's the original 13 colonies, game instructions, 5 U.S. regions, 50 states and capitals, District of Columbia. And it says play a game or two and wake up your brain to great learning fun. So it talks about here the first 13 colonies, and then it has the name the capital game, and then United States Rummy. So there's different games that you can play with these cards. Then it tells you all of the different 5 regions of the United States, and then it actually goes into more detail for each of those regions. And then you finally get into the states. Now this is really great. It has a ton of information. So it talks about how Connecticut was the 5th state in the nation, in the Northeast region. It was founded in 1788. And then on the back is tons and tons of information. So you could actually use these, like if your kid was doing some type of project, I mean, they could use these cards as research. These are really, really great. So it's got the capital, major cities, the state bird, the state flower, nicknames, industries, agriculture, and then it's got fun facts. And it goes on throughout all of the different states, including the District of Columbia at the end, and just has all of this information. So these are really, really great. And obviously you can use these in different ways. You can do the games that are explained in the box, or you can just kind of like hold it up because it doesn't tell you what state it is. And so you just can hold it up and ask your kid the name, and then maybe any of these facts that are on the other side, they can work on memorizing those. So this is really fun. I love this. I mean, this is kind of like an entire curriculum here once you figure out different ways that you can use this. So these are really, really great. I will have all of these linked to down below for you in the description box so that you can go ahead and check them out for yourself. The next set here is a huge pack of flashcards that I created myself. So these are basically all of the parts of speech, and I wanted to be able to kind of quiz my kids on the parts of speech whenever I felt like it. We like to do Mad Libs in our house, so that's one fun way that we do it, but I wanted to do something just quick and easy with flashcards. So first of all, I have the question cards like what is a noun? And then on the back of it, it says what a noun is. What is an adjective? What is a pronoun? What is an interjection? What is a preposition? And it just kind of goes through all these different questions. And then we get to just a bunch of different words to quiz them on. So it'll have the word, and then on the back of the card, it will have whatever it is. So that's a pronoun. And there are obviously a lot of cards here. I made so many different cards just because I really wanted to make sure that my kids really understood different parts of speech. So sometimes I would take the word, like he, for example, and I would demonstrate how the word he is used. Like Jim went to the store, and then I would say he went to the store. So what does that become? And then they'd be able to say it becomes a pronoun. And so, well, here's another one. But there's all different kinds of words in here. Like, for example, we have some adverbs. And so one clue I always tell them is if you see an ly, a lot of times that is an adverb. And yeah, it's just really fun. And I have them use the words in a sentence and just turn it into a little fun game for us. So this is something, I mean, easily that you could just make for yourself using index cards. I'm sure that there are other types of flashcards like this available online, but I had these little cards, so I decided to just make it myself. A couple of years ago, my father-in-law purchased these Bible flashcards for us. We have the Old Testament and the New Testament flashcards, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what these look like. This is something that we have used during our morning time because each card has a picture on the front, and I would just kind of hold up the card like this and let the kids look at it. So this is the Tower of Babel. And then on the back of it, it talks about where it is found in the Bible, and it gives you a memory verse, and then it also just kind of like tells the story and then asks different questions. So it goes through the story of what happened with the Tower of Babel, and then at the bottom it has 6 questions. And then you can also, since it gives you the Bible reference here as well, you can look it up in your Bible or have a child read the story from the Bible as well, or kind of do whatever you want with it. But this is a very, very huge deck. It has so many different cards in here, and they're just really colorful, and they're just really fun for kids. And it's a nice little quick Bible story because, like, you know, as you can see, there's not that much on there. If you can see it, just really short, and it makes it nice and easy to do during like a morning time or a little read aloud or something like that. Now here are the New Testament Bible stories, and I forgot to say that on the very back it tells you every single story that is in there, so that makes it nice too, and it tells you which card it's on. Each of the cards is labeled, as you can see up here in the corner. Each of them has a number, and so yeah, everything's labeled and nice and easy, and so yeah, everything's here. There's pictures, and then on the back is a story and Bible verses and questions, so it's nice and easy and fun. Next are these quotable Shakespeare cards, and I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law got us these as well. And these are really fun. So they will have a quote on one side. So it says, "Oh Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" Well, obviously that one's pretty easy. And then on the back it will tell the source. It says Romeo and Juliet, Act 2, Scene 1. And then it will give you a little sketch about what happened at that time. So alone at her window, or so she thinks, Juliet pines for her love, Romeo, and it goes on and just kind of explains what happened in that scene. So there's different things from all different works of Shakespeare, different quotes, and then it tells you where the quote is from. So these are really fun. It's another thing that you could kind of do during a morning basket or a morning time, and just like do one quote a week or one quote a day or something like that. Just really fun to kind of get your kids interested in Shakespeare. And lastly are my favorite flashcards that we have, and these are from Usborne Books. It is the Impressionistic Paintings and the Famous Paintings cards. We have been using these in our morning time for years and years, and we love them. You can see the boxes are like completely worn out. These cards are so much fun. On the front of the card is the work by the artist, and these are really, I mean, these barely even bend. These are really, really high quality. And then on the back, it will talk about the artist. It will give you when it was painted, where it was painted, what it is made of, where you can see it, and then it will give you little other bits of information. It says, look for cranes and ships and tall factory towers in the background. And then it gives you a fun little fact. Did you know Monet was once worried about selling his paintings that he decided to drown himself and jumped into the river? Like seriously, this is so much fun. My kids have loved going through these, and what we would do is we would read through a bunch of them, and then I would just quiz them. I would like hold up the card and I would say, okay, who painted this? Where is it from? What was the time period? Give me a fact about it. So this was really fun. Oops. I love doing these with the kids. So these are the these are the Impressionistic paintings. And then I also have the famous paintings as well. And this one's fun too, because a lot of these they already knew. Okay, so those are all of the flashcards that we are currently using in our homeschool. We do have lots of other flashcards. I have a lot more that are kind of like really basic letters and numbers and things like that. But my youngest son is really past those now, so we really don't have any use for them anymore. And my older kids who are doing Latin, they have to create their own flashcards every week with their Latin work. So they have those flashcards that they use, and yeah, there's basically always flashcards going on in our house somewhere, somehow, because I find them to be a really, really helpful tool to help memorize things. We use them for sight words with our younger kids, we use them with letters, and then we use them for vocabulary or for content in a book or in Latin or things like that. There's lots of different ways that you can use flashcards. I know when I was older in high school and college, I used flashcards all the time. So there's something that is very useful and helpful in the homeschool classroom. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a great day.